Gang violence is up in Fresno, especially in southwest Fresno. A culture of gang activity and violence have actually plagued some families and their children for decades.
Tonight, we'll have a special report on Eyewitness News at 11. But right now, we're joined by Sher Moua. He is with Fresno Boys and Men of Color and works with Fresno Building Healthy Communities to stop violence in Fresno before it ever starts. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us just a little bit about your organization for those who don't know anything.
Yeah. So Fresno Boys and Men of Color works hand in hand with Fresno Building Healthy Communities to invest in Fresno, to create one healthy Fresno where all young people can thrive and succeed. So we're doing this in several ways. We're making sure that young people have a voice at the city and county level, decisions that affect them. We're working to make sure that young people who are eligible get enrolled in healthcare coverage so they can get the mental and physical health services they need. We're also working to ensure that local governments, school systems invest in young people. They have safe neighborhoods, clean parks, good schools to attend, so they don't even begin to think about the gang violence. And we're also making sure, that they have a voice, they have opportunities, they have places and spaces where they can be supported by adult allies, by mentors to get support, talk to their peers about issues that affect them. So we're making sure that, they're supported in all these ways. At the same time that we're doing this, we're also working to change the narrative, right? Working to change the narrative and stereotypes about young people. Our young people in Fresno are advocates, right? They're leaders. They're doing good work in Fresno. And that also needs to be a part of this dialogue.
So rather than people watching the news and hearing about gang violence, right, you're trying to get these kids while they're still kids, maybe even in elementary school, and put a little cocoon around them so they don't end up on the evening news.
Right, and also creating opportunities. For example, last year we worked with the Fresno Police Department to help launch the Police Chief Youth Supervisory Council, right? We have young people from across the city of Fresno working with people from the police department on issues like, for example, gang violence, issues that affect young people living in Fresno, opportunities like that, so they're engaged in their communities.
Now, your organization is called Fresno Boys and Men of Color. Do you also reach out to girls, to females?
We do. We have a partner organization, Women Empowered, all right? So they work with our young women. They work with our young women, and they're open to young women throughout Fresno as well.
How are you folks funded, and how can people help?
So we are funded through an initiative from the California Endowment, the largest healthcare foundation in the state of California. Folks can help by coming to join our work. We definitely are open to folks throughout Fresno. If you live in Fresno, you're a young person of color, you want to get involved in our work, ways to elevate issues, to advocate for issues that you care about in your community. This is definitely one way that young men and people can get involved. And they can get involved, find out more about us by calling me at 559-255-3300 or at fresnobhc.org/BMOC.
All right. Sher Moua, thank you so much for telling us all about your organization. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And don't forget, as I said, we'll have a full report on gang violence in Fresno and what's being done to stop it right here on Eyewitness News at 11.